Hey everyone, it's Michael here from Replica Airguns. Today we're going to do the field test shooting video for the NXG APX next generation, and this is a pellet/BB air rifle, kind of a target rifle, kind of an entry-level rifle. But you know, I'm kind of excited to do this shooting video because when I was just getting basically the scope set up, getting it on target, because a lot of you guys are going, you know, why does it shoot left of the bullseye? Why does it shoot right? You know, like, why do you not do this? I like to just take them out of the box and shoot most of the guns and see where they shoot on target. But with this scope mount one, and I had to put the scope on, it's obviously going to be off target out of the box. So I took the extra time to get it pretty close in there on the bullseye, and so hopefully I can get some bullseye shots for you guys. But while I was setting it up, I was finding this gun to be really accurate. So hopefully I can get those same results for you guys when I do this test. So I'm going to put probably about 3 rounds through the chronograph at 10 pumps using lead pellets. And then I might try some different pumps. I might try some steel BBs just for fun, maybe a slightly different pellet. And then we're going to put 5 shots on the target because I got to pump it up every time. I'm only going to pump it 5 times when I shoot at the target because it's not an accuracy issue. And I just want to see how it shoots, you know, for accuracy. And it doesn't matter really how fast that pellet's going as long as it's going consistently the same speed. So let's get right to the actual shooting performance test here, velocity. And keep in mind, I've done my tabletop video, so check that out if you want to know the specs and everything. So let's get right to it. I'm going to cock this back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to use what I believe is about a 6-grain lead pellet. So it's on the lighter side of lead pellets, but it's not a high velocity pellet by any means. It's not an alloy pellet. These are lead pellets. Okay, so I hope that I can get this to chrono for us. 383. That was with 5 pumps. Just to sort of get an idea. Let's do 10 pumps. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is the maximum pumps that this gun suggests we do it. Otherwise you could damage the gun, which I don't want to do, but I might pump it say 12 times just to see what we get. But let's get 3 shots on target through the chrono. 435, not bad. Again, that 490 FPS rating is probably for steel BB, so this is pretty much what we'd expect with a lead pellet. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we'll do shot number 2 at 10 pumps. .441, a little higher. We'll do one more at 10 pumps. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. .442, so right in the 440 range. I'm going to go 12 pumps to see if it even makes a difference. I'm not going to go more than that because I don't want to stretch it out. Don't want to damage this gun before we do the test, right? So I think 12 pumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, no, it wasn't hard. I just didn't want to blow up in my face. So 12 pumps. Can we get a little faster than 440 FPS. Thinking maybe 460. See, it didn't really make a difference. So there could be a release valve in here at a certain pressure point. It might release. I don't know. I'm not going to pump it anymore because I don't think we're really going to get an advantage. I'm going to shoot what is I would consider to be a slightly heavier pellet. This is probably going to be about a 7-grain pellet. Maybe an 8-grain pellet, just to see how it slows down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to expect this one to be just under 300 or just under 400. Maybe in the 475s, just a guess. But like I said, 7 or 8 grain. seemed pretty going pretty good there. So that's definitely a 7-grain pellet going at 420. So these might be heavier than I thought. I don't really know exactly what these Diablo pellets are in weight, but I know it's around 6 to 7 grain for sure. And I just shot about a 7 to 8 grain pellet, so and it went in at 420. So that's not too bad. Let's throw a BB through it real quick for fun. Oh, sorry, pull that back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm not gonna do a bunch of these just because once we get one, that'll be close enough just to get an idea. And these things are so hard to pick up. Come on. All right. I think I got one. I did pump it, didn't I? Okay. Pretty sure I did. So 442. So probably because the lead pellets, I'm going to think seal in the barrel a little bit better. They're probably a little larger. Well, they are a little larger than steel BBs. The steel BBs are going to kind of free float a little bit down the barrel, so some air might go past them. And you're going to get a tighter fit with more back pressure with lead pellets typically, because like I said, they're going to seal, air's going to push them. They're going to go, and as we can tell, about the same speed. Typically, a steel BB is going to be about 5.1 grain, and a lead pellet's going to be like 6 to 7 easily, going about the same speed here. So you're going to have more raw energy at the end of the, you know, when you get it down range. So accuracy and raw energy is definitely going to be better with lead pellets, you know, in that 6 to 7, potentially 8 grain range. Wouldn't go too much heavier than that, otherwise the pellet will be probably moving under 400 feet per second. Up and over 400 and in that 450 range we're getting pretty close to. You know, with a gun that's really accurate, you could shoot small pests. Now, you know, it's all about doing it in a humane way. And a lot of that is, you know, how accurate, how familiar you are with the gun. Can you get a headshot at the range you're shooting at consistently? You know, you can shoot a much more powerful gun with a larger, you know, going faster. But if you shoot that animal in the wing or, you know, part of the body, but it's not a lethal shot, it's going to suffer, right? But if you shoot a less powerful gun, but it's accurate, and you know how to shoot that gun, you know the consistency of that gun, you know where exactly to aim at different ranges and all those things. If you're familiar with it, if you've practiced with it, then it can be a humane weapon or air gun for pest control. So keep those factors in mind. All right, let's go set up the paper target and see what we can do in terms of accuracy. I'm looking forward to this. Without further ado, let's get 5 rounds on target. Here we are, about 30 feet back. And I'm going to put, again, I'm going to use 5 pumps because this isn't about, you know, raw velocity. This is all about accuracy, and it shouldn't make a difference as long as these rounds are moving consistently FPS-wise downrange. So let's get started. Again, I'm going to use these lead pellets that I've been using. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The reason I'm ducking it under the table is it's just a little easier to load. Okay, I'm not putting any special ammunition in here or anything like that. I say easier to load, but it's still a little bit tough to load. You really got to watch it. Make sure they're lined up. I don't want to damage the pellets while I'm loading them. Okay, I'm going to take my time. Okay, felt good. 5 pumps, because as long as they're going about the same speed, we shouldn't get any elevation differences, unless the gun isn't accurate. Might have been a little left, still should be on target. I'm not going to lie, this optical sight is definitely not the best. It's, even at this range, you know, about 30 feet down range, it's kind of a little hard to see the target. The target's a little bit blurry, and it doesn't really get that clear even at further ranges. So the sight relief and everything is just, it's not there. But if I can do well with this target or this optical sight, then I should be able to do even better with a better quality. Oh, hold on a sec here. I forgot how many pumps I did, so we're just gonna air that out and do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Too much yakking. Too much yakking. Okay, I think this is shot 4. We'll do another one after this. That should be 5. Felt good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From what I can tell, they're all in the bullseye. Let's hope that this one gets there too. I would like to replicate the similar results, or the results I got earlier, which was a nice tight grouping once I got it dialed in. That should be good. Okay, I'm not going to bring it with me. Yeah. That is one of the best groupings I've ever got, I think, with any air gun. That is a 1/2 inch group. That is amazing for about $100 air rifle. I mean, okay, remember what I said about the whole, you know, if that was, say, a bird's head at 30 feet, you know, you could probably shoot even further out, I think, with a better optical scope. And if you knew where that pellet was going to be, you know, it's going to arc a slight bit more with a lower power gun. But if you knew your distances, and, you know, if you were accounting for things like wind and whatnot, if it wasn't too windy, then you should be able to get headshots at 50 feet with this gun, no problem. You know, that's a pretty amazing. And a headshot on a small, you know, past moving at about 400, 450 feet per second with a lead pellet, about 6-7 grain, that'll do the job. So again, it's all about the humane way, putting that pest out of its misery without making it suffer. If you can do that, that's what's important, right? And it's not always about velocity. Accuracy is just as important, okay? So, I mean, I'm really impressed. This is a very impressive result. Feet per second was about what I was expecting, about the 450 range. Would have been nice to see it up in the closer to 500, but you know, that's what it is. And Umarex claims about 490. I can't even see steel BBs hitting 490, but maybe a light grain like an alloy pellet might be getting up in that range, like a really lightweight lead pellets, or sorry, just alloy pellets. They're kind of an alloy composite. There's usually a lot of aluminum in them and stuff. Those ones are more like pellet or BB weight. They're like about 5 grain. So those ones could maybe get up to about closer to 500 FPS. But I would use lead pellets. I think they're going to be more accurate, and they're going to carry just more raw energy downrange. So that's what I would use if you're going to use this on anything. All right, that's very impressed. Love the gun for what it is. It's nothing special to look at. You know, it looks okay. It's not the best quality build you're going to find in an air gun, but you know what? At the end of the day, it performs. That's what's important. And it comes with quite a few bells and whistles. All right, I'm starting to ramble now. Thanks for watching another Replica Airguns video. Don't forget to subscribe. Check me out on Facebook and Twitter. Username is Replica Airguns. Also check us out at replicaairguns.com. Of course, we have articles, post reviews. I have additional photos of the products I review. And we have our Canada and US Replica Airgun stores. They're online only at replicaairguns.ca for Canada, replicaairguns.us for the US, where we sell air guns, BB guns, pellet guns, airsoft guns, blank guns, knives, and other accessories. All right, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.